This is the A to Z podcast. Expert insights on leadership, business, real estate, investing, and growth.
As a business broker, I interact with business buyers and sellers, and sometimes I hear and see some misunderstandings, common misunderstandings that could have been avoided long time ago if these prospective buyers and sellers approached me a little bit earlier. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you at least four common misunderstandings. If we have time, at least three of them, so that you could be able to learn from my experience. You could be a potential buyer or someone who want to buy in the coming month, or you could be a seller preparing your business to sell, or maybe you plan to sell down the road in a couple of years. This conversation gonna help you. You could also be a professional in this business, whether you are a residential or commercial agent or a business broker. Some of the things may benefit you indirectly, which means you could send this video to your prospective clients so that they understand these things and avoid these mistakes. I want to start first with buyers. And the first common misunderstanding that I see consistently is that buyers, they have their own idea how much the business they want to buy cost, and they come to you and give you maybe a month or two to buy for them a business. I can give you a good example. A lady called me and is this easy? I said yes. So and so recommended me to reach out to you. This person is a residential agent. She asked him to help her buy a business, and he told her that I'm a residential agent. I don't have the knowledge, and I'm gonna recommend you to a commercial agent who does business brokerage. And that's why she called me. And I said, yeah, this is AZ. And she said, I want to buy laundromat and I want to meet you and I want to work with you. And I said, oh, yes. And then we met. When we met, my curiosity was, why did she choose laundromat? Because in my case, I don't just say, okay, what do you want to buy? How many dollars do you have? Go and get them the business and get commission. That's not how I work. I want to understand their needs and also give them some perspectives. I am in this business and I know a lot, and they need to know certain things so that I share those things before I take any business. Even if they walk away, I may miss a commission, that's fine. But I don't want to just follow their lead. And we sat down and we talked, and she told me that her mom told her that, put this money into laundromat. Laundromat is profitable. It has a lot of return. Her mom has some truth into it. Laundromat is one of the retail businesses that could give you high return compared to other retail businesses. But what I wanted to know was, is this your passion? I was asking, how many dollars do you have to buy? Where do you want to buy? Who's going to run this laundromat? And the answers to these questions were a little bit off. For example, she had $250,000 and she want to buy a laundromat in a market which is very, very expensive. As soon as she told me she has only $250,000 and she want to buy cash, I Googled quickly and I looked at the market, and the minimum you could get a well-maintained laundromat is $500,000. It could go up to $1.5 million. And then I told her, with $250,000, you may not be able to buy a good laundromat. And also, she doesn't want to spend a lot of money to renovate and buy equipment, stuff like that. And then I gave her options. By the way, you could use this as a down payment and you could get conventional loan. Maybe you can also use SBA loan or maybe raise capital. And I was giving her different options. And she said she's not interested into getting loan. She was afraid indebting herself. She didn't see the leverage she could use, because rather than just buying $250,000 business, she could have taken a loan and could have bought $1 million or $1.5 million, a well-maintained laundromat. But she was afraid. But finally, she told me, okay, let me try. And we talked about the different option that she has, and she preferred to get SCBA loan. And therefore, I connected her with SCBA loan broker who works with some banks that are certified and authorized to offer SCBA loans. And she met the broker. They discussed. I don't know what happened. Initially she was excited for the opportunity, but finally she stopped answering his calls. And he called me, the lady you connect me, she's not communicating with me. And then I called her. She told me my husband is on vacation. I have to wait until he returns. She didn't tell me what went wrong. After that, she was not even returning my call. My suspicion is that she didn't like to be indebted. Here is the thing. If that's her principle, fine. But what I have seen also from other buyers is that before they decide which kind of business they want to buy, they don't do some research, or they don't reach out to a professional like myself. At least they have a sense of how many dollars they need and the different options that they have to raise that capital. The second common mistake that I have seen from buyers is that they come up to you, they're excited, and they tell you, I want to buy this kind of business. Like I told you before, I just don't jump in and follow their lead. I want to ask some questions. One of the questions that I ask, do you have experience running this business? It could be academical or work experience. If they don't have that, do you have passion for those things? If not, do you know how to run this business? If not, do you want to hire someone who could run it? In most cases, from my experience, many buyers, when they come, they hate the job they do, and they are buying another job, which basically means they're going to be the one actually running that business, which means they're the boss of that business, because they hate maybe the boss or the company. They left that, they want to buy, and they have another job. In that kind of situations, either you have to have an experience, or you should have the passion, or you should know at least how the business runs. I had a prospective buyer. He reached out to me and he said he want to buy. Actually, he chose the company he want to buy, except that he needed a professional to guide him through the process. He told me the kind of business he want to buy. It was an IT business. And I asked him, do you have any IT background? No. Who's going to run the business? Me. How do you run an IT business if you don't have academical or work experience? Have you run any company which is in IT? He told me, no, I can handle it. Don't worry. The staff going to support me. I could do it. I could read about it and so on. My concern was, from my experience, when you reach out to sellers, one of the questions they're going to ask is, who's the buyer? Think about it. A business for someone, for a seller, is a baby. They don't want to just give someone to the kids, the baby to be adopted by someone not worthy, quote unquote. From their perspective, one of the reasons they're looking for from a buyer is someone who could take care of that business. Because in most cases, they are leaving behind their legacy. They're also leaving behind employees when they sell and walk away. And they want their people, their legacy, to be taken care of. By who? By the buyer. And if the buyer doesn't understand the business, they're concerned. And therefore, I was explaining this to the buyer. Unless you have a very strong reason, you have to buy an IT company. Let's figure out the kind of company when you buy, you're going to be successful, for which you have some work or academic experience, something that you have already done, or at least something you have passion for it, so that you could be able to quickly catch up and lead that company. The third common misunderstanding I see is from sellers. Sellers, they reach out to you and they tell you you have maybe 1 month or 2 months to sell their business. I don't just take a business before I do some homework. I ask some questions. One of the questions I ask is, are the financials and the documentations are ready? If they are not ready, I'm not rushing to create flyer and then create story and sell that business. Because if a buyer comes, the first thing they ask is some financial. In business, they require 3 years financial and also tax return. If these financials are not ready, we should not start the process. I wish they reached out to me ahead of time. We could have worked on the financials, because sometimes the financials are not clear. And also, they may not have a professional CPA who's doing the financial, which means they have to hire someone, a lot of work in the background. In most cases, it takes weeks, if not months. But if they have reached out, I know a lot of professionals who are financial professionals. I would have recommended these people to work with them to straighten up, to clean the financial ahead of time. The fourth and the final misunderstanding from sellers is this: they might have sold residential agents or residential properties or commercial properties, and they think that, hey, now I am selling a business. The commission should be the same, and the process should be the same. And I remember I was looking for an office space for one of my prospective clients. He was looking for a lease, and I was walking around in a strip shop, a strip mall. I was trying to figure out whether that environment is right for my client, and I was asking someone at the desk who's also in that strip mall. And this lady was talking to me. I was asking who managed this property and so on. And the owner saw us discussing it, and he was mindful, but the lady couldn't be able to answer. So she called him like this, and he came and he asked, how can we help you? I told him I'm looking for some information about this strip mall, and I'm looking for the manager who managed it. And also, I was asking, is it really a nice place? Is it well maintained? Is it peaceful? I was asking different questions about the environment, because I'm looking for a space for my client who's looking for a space. And he gave me the name and phone number of the person who managed that property. And then he followed me he followed me on the outside, and he said, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. I plan to sell my business. I didn't want them to know. I just want to know whether you could help me sell my business. I said, yeah, I have the license. I could help you sell your business. And then he quickly asked me, what's the commission? I didn't want to quickly answer to him because I know it's a sticky point. I was trying to ask, when are you selling this business? What's the reason you're selling? He was pushing back. He's pushing, no, first tell me the commission. I didn't want to tell him, but he was very, very pushy. I told him it depends. It depends on the price of the valuation of your business. If it is high, we may ask a lesser commission. If it is low, maybe we're going to have a minimum fee that we require to help you sell the business? He says, just tell me the range. I told him between 8 to 12%. I could see in his face, he was like shocked. He held his head and said, what? 8%? He was not even mentioning 12. 8? Are you crazy? Why are you guys charging this? Is it only you or every broker? I told him every broker, if you ask them, that's the range. Yes, there are exceptions, but that's the range. And I was trying to educate him. I told him, look, when you sell a residential agent, you don't do a lot of analysis like the financial, evaluating the team, creating a story, make sure that there are no legal complications. So many backgrounds that you have to do. Most of all, you don't want to sell them on the platforms that you have, like a residential or commercial property, because most sellers, they don't want people to know, especially the people who are working in the company, to know that you are about to sell, especially A players. Now they see that you are selling your business and they walk away. If they walk away, two side effects. One, you just lost an A player. This business may take 6 months or even a year to sell, and you lost that person. Second, if you lost your A player, when the buyers come in, they don't see A players. And therefore, you don't have that ability to mass produce flyers and sell the business everywhere. You have to sell it offline in most cases. You don't need to, and also you don't mention the name of the company. You don't take pictures of the company. You use a dummy flyer and you describe certain things. You don't mention the exact address of the company, any feature that may resemble to that business. You see the difficulty? So your hands are tied. It's going to take you a lot of time to analyze the company. You may reach at the end of the day a point where this may not be sold. Even then, if it is sellable business, you don't have the luxury to sell in public and send massive flyers or use ads and so on and so forth. Because of that, the commission rate is a little bit higher. Residential agents, normally it could be 5 to 6. Commercial, sometimes it could come 4 because of the listing price of these commercial properties. If the property is worth a lot, you may come even down to 2-3%. But in business brokerage, the experience, as I said, there are exceptions, but the practice is 8 to 12%. I shared with you these 3 common misunderstandings, 4 common misunderstandings in business selling and buying. If you are interested, I can help you. I can help you in certain ways. For example, we have buyers who are interested to buy businesses. And if I work with you and do the analysis of your company, you benefit first, you could be able to see and know where you are, the current market value of your business. Second, even if you don't want to sell now, when the time comes to sell, you're ready, because in that process, I'm going to tell you the next steps to make sure that your business is ready to scale or to be sold. Third is, if you're ready to sell or when the time comes to sell, we have buyers. We don't need to spend month and month because we have readily available buyers. And as you know, it's a buyer market right now. For these reasons, reach out like the other buyers and sellers that I told you. If they reached out ahead of time, if they were aware of the industry, how things are done, how many months or weeks it takes to prepare your business to sell or prepare yourself to buy, they could have saved a lot of time and also money. For that reason, reach out. Me and my team, we would love to support you, help you buy or sell your next business. Thank you for watching. I look forward to see you with another live session. Bye-bye.